Hello and welcome. If you're here, it's probably because you're at the very beginning of what can be a really confusing journey. That moment when you start noticing changes in someone you love and you're just wondering what's next. So let's walk through this together. It usually starts with just a quiet question you ask yourself, a little feeling in your gut. You're seeing these small shifts, maybe in their memory or their mood or just their everyday habits, and you start to think, wait a minute, is something really changing here? And at this point, you're not a doctor, right? You don't have a diagnosis. Let's be honest, you're probably not even sure if it is dementia. You just know that something feels different. And that feeling of uncertainty, that's completely 100% normal. So let's talk about these very early stages. It's really important to know that a lot of people can continue to live on their own and live safely for quite some time. But, and this is the key thing to grasp, this whole situation is dynamic. It's always in motion. See, because dementia is a progressive condition, what your loved one needs today might not be what they need 6 months from now. Their safety and their independence, it's not a one-time check-in. It has to be this ongoing process of just paying attention with a compassionate eye. So what does that ongoing process even look like? Well, it means watching for certain red flags. And listen, this isn't about being nosy or intrusive. It's about being aware. These are just clues, really, that might tell you when someone needs a little more support to stay safe and well. And these clues are often very practical, everyday things. Are you noticing changes in personal hygiene? Are they getting turned around or lost in places they know like the back of their hand? Maybe their home just isn't being kept up the way it used to be. Some flags are of course a bit more urgent, not eating enough, falling more often, maybe becoming more paranoid, or any situation where they could be a risk to themselves or even a pet. These are the kinds of things you want to gently keep on your radar. Okay, this brings us to one of the toughest and honestly most confusing challenges for any caregiver. What on earth do you do when you see these red flags, but your loved one insists that everything is totally fine? This is something I hear from caregivers all the time. You see clear, obvious evidence that more help is needed, but when you bring it up, you just get shut down with, I don't need any help. It can be just so incredibly frustrating. Now, your first thought is probably, okay, they're in denial, right? It makes sense. They see the problem, but they just can't bring themselves to accept it. But what if it's not denial? What if it's something else entirely? And this is where we get to a really critical distinction. On the one hand, you've got denial, which is, a psychological defense mechanism, a choice in a way. But on the other hand, there's this thing called anosognosia, and that's a neurological condition. It's a medical symptom, not a mindset. So what is anosognosia? Well, to put it simply, the brain itself, because of the physical changes from the disease, actually loses the ability to recognize that anything is wrong. So from their perspective, there is no problem. They're not hiding from the truth. Their brain literally can't see it. And this is the crucial takeaway from all of that. Someone with anosognosia is not going to ask for help because in their reality, they don't need it. And that means you, the caregiver, often can't wait for them to ask. You have to be the one to take the first step. So knowing this, how can you actually step in and help in a way that's respectful? Let's look at some really practical first steps you can take to offer support even when they're not asking for it. And you can start really small. For instance, you could add some simple tech, like fall detectors, to help monitor their safety. Or maybe you could arrange for a meal delivery service, just to make sure they're eating well. You could even set up one of those automated pill dispensers for medication reminders. These aren't huge, disruptive changes, but they are powerful, proactive ways to help. And finally, I really, really want you to remember this. It can feel so isolating when you're at the beginning of this journey, but I promise you, you are not alone. There is a huge community of people out there who know exactly what you are going through. Support is there. So I'll just leave you with this question. After everything we've talked about, what is one small, manageable step you can take today? Not tomorrow, not next week. What's one little thing you can do today? Because every single journey, no matter how big and scary it seems, it always begins with that one small step.